All right, addicts, welcome back to the channel. As most of you probably know, I started bass fishing about a year and a half ago. I've been fishing my whole life. I've been fishing for as long as I could hold a rod, but it's all been in the saltwater. I did some fly fishing, guiding, and things back just out of high school. But the truth is that I got brought to East Texas. Life brought me here. And I found myself in the middle of kind of bass fishing mecca, right? I'm 20 minutes from Rayburn. And it's really just an opportunity to get into a new kind of fishing, which I love. So the first thing that I did was I thought, I don't even know what tackle to buy. So I did what you're doing, because you're obviously way down the rabbit hole on the YouTube algorithm. So I watched all the videos, I did everything, and I thought, well, I'm going to subscribe to these boxes that they send you stuff every month. So I did the Monsterbass one first, and for reasons that I'll talk about here in a minute, I dropped that one, and I started doing the 6 cent box, and I did the Googan box. And we're going to talk today about the 6 cents and the Googan, because those are the ones that I have here in front of me. And then we'll talk about, why not some of the others. So the first thing I'll tell you, both the Googan box and the 6 cent box in particular, and even frankly, the Monsterbass one, these are both about 35. I think the Monsterbass one is like 39. When you're subscribing to these things, it's a question of, what are you getting? Is it relevant to what you're fishing like right now? Relevant? Does it feel kind of connected? That was the other thing that I really felt was important with what I was getting was, does it seem relevant? And is all of the things that I'm getting kind of connected? Can I fish them all like right now? And do I get everything I need, or do I have to go get more stuff? So let's talk about the 6 cent one first. Obviously, from a shipping perspective, from a bag perspective, Googan, you get a USPS bag, and here you do get this bag. I've got a bunch of them now. It's cool. The first couple of them are cool. I don't really know what to do with them anymore, but yeah, I guess it's nice, and it doesn't seem to cost me anything extra. This month's Googan, this was I think the August of 25 box. So you end up with a square bill, shad killer square bill, good lure. I actually own a couple of these already, a little bit different sizes, but it's a good lure and relevant for right now. And then there was a number of soft plastics in the mix here. You'll see here that they just released these. These are a new bait for them. I've fished the one, I've fished this one. I've not fished this one. The truth of the matter is I struggle with this bait. I have one that's a little bit bigger than this one, and I cannot, for the life of me, get it to do what it's supposed to do. I've tried it on a bunch of different heads. It is a struggle to get it to roll the way that it's designed to roll. This one did come with some really small heads that are specifically designed for it. So I am anxious to give this one a shot and see if the smaller bait profile with this smaller head will get the action that it's supposed to have, because if it does what it's supposed to do, I think it would be a really good bait this time of year with the size of shad that are hanging around in the lakes that I'm fishing. So I think that this would be effective. This is another one. This is their clear strobe minnow. I think this one will do good. This strobe shaker, the difference with this one is that it's got this little I don't know what you'd call that, fin on the top, I guess, that is supposed to cause it to roll in the water, and that's what I've been having a hard time getting it to do. But with those, you've got the heads, but it also came set up to do drop shots, which obviously this time of year, another highly pressured fish have proven to be easier to catch on some finesse tactics a lot of times. So you do get their drop shot weight, their drop shot hook, both of which are good. I'm not a big fan of the round drop shot. I prefer the tungsten cylinder drop shot weights, but it'll work fine. Quarter ounce, a little heavy probably, but again, in terms of value for money, you're getting good quality product for the $35 and you're getting good value for the $35. So I've got the hooks and the weights. This would fish really well on a drop shot this time of year. These juggle shots that they've got, this is a great drop shot. It's got great action, good plastic. The truth is that none of the 6 cents baits that I fished really are endurance plastics, right? You can fish some of the new Crush City plastics and you can catch 30 fish on them. Obviously a lot of the non-plastisol plastics, the ones that are stretchier and have more endurance. If I pulled too hard on that, it's going to pop that tail right off, which means the teeth of the fish are just going to tear it up. So, that's neither here nor there. It's in terms of the subscription itself, but it is something to be aware of if you're subscribing to some of these, is what you're getting. So I think all of those that I've shown you so far are good baits for this time of year. And ultimately, the line associated with this, I think that you could, that as long as you had line, you're ready to go fish. You've got everything you need to go try all of these right away. This bait, I'm not sure in terms of what they have here, what their intent was. I don't know if they thought you were going to put this on a drop shot. I guess you technically could. I don't know if they thought you were going to put a head on it and fish it as a real finesse kind of bait. I don't think that's what they were intending. This is the one bait that feels a little disconnected to me, frankly. And then just a real traditional drop shot worm. You could also put this on this jig head and fish it as a super finessey bait. But ultimately they meant for that to be a drop shot. So ultimately the baits are fairly connected. They're good quality baits. I feel like I got enough value for dollars for $35 to have that brought to my house. The reality is I don't need any more tackle. If my wife had her way, I probably wouldn't buy any more tackle ever. But the truth is that I enjoy the idea of opening the package and seeing what I got. There's some fun to that. If you're looking to build up a stash of good baits, this is a fun way to do it, because there are things here. This is one of them. And probably, frankly, this, I wouldn't have bought this. If I walked into Bass Pro or Academy or wherever, I wouldn't have picked these baits off of the wall. But having them, being on the water in a tough day fishing, I'm going to pull this kind of thing out and I'm going to fish it, and I'm going to feel good about having these on the boat when I'm not fishing. So that is the 6 cent product. I'll push those to the side. Oh, this also came in. And I'm guessing that every month for the last 4 months, there's been some sort of a jig in this box. This is their axle jig. It's a 7/16. It's a good jig. It has a bit of a weird hook keeper on it. It's got the screw lock hook keeper on it, which I'm not frankly sure how I feel about that as it relates to jigs. But it is one that is designed to be more of a finessey jig. And I've fished them. I've caught fish on them. I like them. It's a bit of a ball head. It's kind of a mix between a true ball head and a little bit more of a football head shape. So it's not a swim jig, but it is a good jig. I don't think that this works with this. So, the length of the skirt, the size of the hook, the fact that this is a tube bait, in my opinion, it's a stretch. There may be people watching this that are like, oh no, not a stretch. That's a perfect thing. Great for you. Not a big fan of those two being together, but I got plenty of things to throw on the back of it, and it goes well in my jig box. So ultimately, that's the all of the things that are associated. And then this is the Googan box. Now, here's what I'm going to tell you about the Googan brand. There are people on here that are going to say they hate Googan. There are people that'll say that they've sold out. I've heard all of it. But the reality here is that I've caught a lot of fish on Googan baits. The downsized version of this trench, what do they call this? The trench hog. The downsized version of this, I've caught some very good fish on this. A number of fish over 6 pounds, which again, I did it. My PB is just about 8. Doing this realistically, doing this for 1 year with an actual bass boat and giving it my attention. But I mean, I live in the land of giants, so that's not great. But I have caught a lot of fish north of 6 on the downsized trench hog. So I really like this bait. I have way too many of these, is the truth. I've got boxes full of the downsized and the full size of these. But black and blue, can't go wrong with that. Good bait. There's a lot of guys that have mixed feelings on the bandito bug. I like it. I think it's a good bait. I think it plays in a number of different situations. I think I've used it as a swim bait trailer. I've used it as a jig trailer. I've used it as a punching bait. I was just playing with it last week on a Carolina rig. I think that these are good baits. Are they the best bait out there? Debatable. Probably not. Is it an affordable bait that catches fish? Yes. I think, and that was why I started with the trench hogs, is the action on those. I really liked it. Like it or hate it, this is a good fishable bait. Both of these are designed, when they set them, to be tied to these flipping hooks. I like these hooks. There's a lot of people that will tell you that these aren't good hooks. I've never had this hook bend out. I've never had a problem with it. I went and bought the BKK Addict, BKK Addict box, and I've been fishing a lot of those. I like those too. This is a good heavy cover flipping hook, and it is affordable. It is a good value for what you get for this hook. I like the way they've built the keepers. I like how the keepers are further down the shank. I think these are good hooks. Both of these will play with that. And then they included a couple of half-ounce tungsten flipping hooks, or flipping weights. This right here is a very relevant and connected set of baits, right? You're going to take these, you're going to go out in the water, you're going to fish them, you're going to have success with them. When I very first started, soft plastics were a lot of what I fished, because, on Rayburn, when the water was high, you could go up and flip this stuff into the bushes, and you're going to catch fish. Like, it is going to happen. It takes patience, and, you got to kind of know where they are, but ultimately you are going to catch fish flipping this stuff up into the buckrush. So very connected, very fishable, go out on the water right now kind of a thing. Then they've got a couple of hard baits. Now, this is where I think that these subscription boxes become something that you have to kind of question a little bit. If you compare the 6 cents value to this value, and you're using retail numbers, I think they're fairly like dollar for dollar. If you went and searched what it would cost to buy it, I think you're pretty close on the $35 number, a little bit over, and they try to give you some value for buying these. I have now, with the Googan box, this exact same lure in 3 colors over the last 3 months, and this exact lure in the same color. So do the math, right? If I had a bait that was catching fish, do I have more than one of them? Yes. Have I taken this bait out of the package yet from last month or the month before? I haven't. So therein lies the question. They're assigning a lot of value to these 2 baits of that $35. And if this isn't a color that you're going to fish, or if this isn't a size or a bait type that you're interested in fishing, you now own a couple of baits that may never see the water in your fishery. And that's the rub with these subscription boxes. which is a good segue into why I don't do the Monsterbass box anymore. The Monsterbass box felt very like if you go to his YouTube channel and you watch his unboxing videos, he puts a lot of emphasis on their pamphlet that they create as part of that every month. And when you read that, it's very much pointed at novice fishermen, right? And I was a novice bass fisherman, so I thought, well, maybe this will be helpful. But it was very much, even for me, it was like, nah, probably not. There's a lot of things that I would do to understand fishing those baits better than what they were delivering. And it was very much like, okay, if I was giving this to someone who wasn't a fisherman, this would be a good resource, but not so much for me. And then the baits all felt a little bit disconnected. Every once in a while, like they would do a Z-Man takeover or something like that, and it was, you got a really great box. You're like, wow, this is all great. I got, 2 chatterbaits and good trailers for them, and I got really good value for money here. A lot of times the soft plastics felt like sample packs. It just wasn't for me. And there's going to be people that are like, and I did the platinum box, the 30, I think it's $39 a month one. I just didn't feel it. And I didn't feel like the baits were that relevant to me. And I kept, I liked the idea of getting a box every month, but I ended up with this bunch of baits that I just don't fish. And once I realized that I was opening it and going, oh, this is cool, and then I was putting it in a tackle box and it was never hitting the water, I was like, yeah, I don't need to do that. I spend way more money every month on tackle that I know I want to fish, and I buy tackle. I have a delivery coming today with a bunch of lipless crankbaits and things coming from Googan, and those. I like the baits. It is exactly what I want and exactly the right color. And it was about the same as, because I got them on their clearance on a special sale. And so I spent about what I would spend on a monthly box, but I'm getting 6 or 7 baits exactly what I wanted in the right colors and the right sizes. And I'm getting 2 of the one bait that I needed that I caught a 5-pounder on over the weekend and lost it, or lost the bait on a stump later. So the question, if money's tight, is, should I be doing this, or should I be just buying exactly what I want when I want it? So I like boxes. I like them to come in. I like not knowing what I'm getting. It feels like Christmas once a month, right? I will tell you that the Googan box comes the beginning of the month. And I always feel like those baits are very targeted. If you're watching the baits of the month and those kinds of things from other anglers, that you're getting a lot of the things that they're talking about. I didn't open this because I wanted to do this video, but these are all things that would have fished all month of the month of August. And you get it early in the month. You get it like the 8th, 9th, 10th of the month. This one, the 6 cents box, you get on like the 25th. You get it at the end of the month. So just know that and I still feel like these are baits that probably played better in August than they will in September. But you're getting it at the end of the month. Well, I just keep that in mind. I like getting boxes. If I was trying to say I have $50 a month or $150 a month to spend on baits, how am I going to spend it? I'm not sure I'd be doing boxes. I'd probably be very specific about colors and shapes and sizes. And, I'd be out supporting my local tackle companies. We've got some great ones here in East Texas that are guys, Tackle Addicts out in Brooklyn on the, what is that? The south side of Rayburn. Great one. There's a great one in Zavala, Texas that I love going in and buying the things that I really want and need. So anyway, boxes, I like them. It's like Christmas once a month, twice a month, however many boxes you get. You get some good baits. You get some things that you're like, nah, is this really what I wanted? But ultimately, it does grow your tackle collection. My collection is certainly at the point now where I don't need to have boxes showing up every month. But I'm not going to be quitting anytime soon. Will I quit one of these? Probably. Which one will it be? Likely the Googan. I think the 6 cents baits are great. If I'm honest about it, if I'm really honest about it, I've caught more fish on Googan baits than I have on 6 cents baits. 6 cents is really, really good at marketing, and they catch. Somebody told me once that fishing tackle is designed first to catch anglers and then to catch fish. And I think 6 cents catches a lot of anglers, but I have caught some big fish on 6 cents baits. So take your pick. Thanks for being here, guys. Appreciate you. We'll see you in the next one. Take care.